I'm going to share my screen and put on the slideshow. Hi, everyone. This is Kapps blog number 59. We've almost done 60 of these. Today, I want to look a little bit at books that I've read in 2021. This is the SF Bay PDA student chapter of the Peritoneal Drug Association. And what I want to do is tell you a little bit about reading that I've done and some reading that you should do for 2020. And so, as always, it's with me, Nick Kapps, PhD, the SFPDASC academic advisor, and our PDA member audience, which today is going to be Julio. Hey, say hi to everyone.
Hello.
This is a series of podcasts, roughly about 5 to 10 minutes long, telling you a little bit about what we are doing this week. As always, what we intend to do is inform and educate a new generation of pharma manufacturers through a discussion of helpful links, stories, and interviews. Help us help you. In the coming weeks, we will be trying out various ways to inform our listeners as to what it takes to work in the pharma manufacturing sphere. And so drop me an email at cap@smccd.edu. And again, this is the student chapter. So I don't have a lot of time, and probably neither do you, but over the last year, I've done a bit of reading, and here are some of the books that I would recommend. Remember, PDA members, it's you who kind of make the drugs, the antibodies, currently the vaccine, the boosters for the vaccine, and it's you who do the research to kind of help us kind of save the world. And what these books are is just kind of a way to kind of get to know that a little bit better. The one book I'm really recommending to people, and I'm actually using this to test for a class, and I got it right here, is my Building Biotechnology, Business Regulations, Patents, Law, Policy, and Science. Julio, you read that one as well, Yali Friedman. And just kind of to give you a little bit of the gist of it, Building Biotechnology helps readers start and manage biotechnology companies. And so this is something that somebody who knows a lot about biology is going to say, hey, I want to read a book on how biotechnology companies run and what they need to do. And again, this will help you understand the business of biotechnology a little bit better. It describes the kind of convergence of science, politics, regulatory, commercial factors that define the scope of basically what biotechnology is. And again, you've all heard the term of build it and they will come, but you know what, if you build it and it's not sterile and you can't get it through regulatory, you're not going to be able to sell it. Again, this book is popular among business professionals and scientists who are seeking to apply their skills to biotechnology. This particular book has been adapted for a number of courses, and specifically the MBAs, business management students. And so again, everywhere from Berkeley to Johns Hopkins are using this. And this is the 4th edition. It's from 2014. So it's starting to get a little bit old now. And so I would recommend that Yali does this. And he actually is a teacher here in San Francisco at USF and one of our faculty in there. And it'd be really kind of interesting to see that he does a copy of that. The next book that I'm recommending is basically Blockbuster Drugs. Basically, a blockbuster drug is a drug that will sell for $1 billion. I mean, it's amazing. $1 billion, $1,000 million. And there are drugs that do this. And a lot of companies, if you got a blockbuster drug, you can get real big. And again, there's some small biotech companies get a blockbuster drug, and all of a sudden they go from being, you know, an unheard of pharmaceutical company to being kind of one of the 3 or 4 best. This is by Jack Leaf. And this is from Oxford University Press. This again was also from 2014. Again, like I said before, blockbuster drugs are ones that create more than $1 billion. Tagamet went from the company that makes Tagamet went from being a really minor company to one of the 9th largest pharmaceutical companies in the world due to Tagamet. And again, the PDA, we're looking at injectable drugs. This is necessarily injectable. But Jack Lee is a chemist, and he does a really great job of describing kind of how these drugs are made, how they're discovered, and kind of the story behind it. So if you're interested in looking at and reading about the human aspect between or off of some of these drugs, that would be really great. Another one that we're looking at is this, actually, Bottles of Lies by Catherine Eban, who is an investigational journalist. And actually, this is a really great one because it read almost kind of like a kind of a spy novel or whatever. And basically, as we kind of all know, that generic drugs are very important. And what happens when generic drugs first came about, what it is basically, rather than having to discover a whole new drug for a generic drug, you can take a drug that's formula that's already out there and you can make it. And trouble is, a lot of these drugs, a lot of generics, are made in India and made in other parts of the world, where again, the labor is a lot cheaper, and ideally, or I don't know how ideally, but maybe some of the regulatory. And so, but again, that regulation is by the FDA, and the FDA goes and looks at it. But she talks about this and talk about how some of those companies kind of put some stuff up. And really, you got to listen to your doctors, because some of these drugs that are coming out are supposed to be generic drugs, are supposed to be chemically identical, but sometimes they are not. And again, generic drugs is truly global. Generic drugs are made kind of all over the world so that people and other companies can afford them, but also so that we can do this here in the United States. Reading that I thought would be kind of interesting for you is, I don't know if you like cartoons and manga or whatever like that. Basically, there is a Japanese manga called Cells at Work, what we call Cold Black. And basically, it's the story of your circulatory system and your immune system, and kind of how it works through this kind of manga idea. And basically, a newbie red blood cell, which is one of 37 trillion, working to keep the body running. But something's wrong. The stress hormones keep yelling at them to go faster. The blood vessels are crusted over with cholesterol, ulcers, fatty acids, etc. And so it's kind of a really neat way to kind of look at that. So it's ideally, it's taking the story of basically our body, our circulatory system, our immune system, and telling it through manga. So I thought all of us, this would be kind of an interesting way. Is it the best way to learn it? I don't know. Again, send me your PDA interest and reviews to me. Julio, have you read a book this last year on that would be interesting to the PDA audience? Or Maria, you can pop up too. Okay, it's been a while. Sorry, I popped that one up on you.
Yeah.
But again, I'm going to close off onto you like always. So tell me, is this politics or is this science? Let's have fun at what we do. Reading is always kind of a great thing to be able to do. And I see we get a few more people inside of our audience. And thanks for tuning in. This is Kapps Blogs at SFPDASC. We're at LinkedIn, we're at Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. So again, it's been very happy to see and hear from all of you. And let's stop sharing and